Okay, so box and whisker plots are also called box plots. And what they do is they take our data and visually divide it up into 4 groups. And those 4 groups are called quartiles. What does that chord make you think of? 4. Quarters. Okay? So when we have our quartiles, it looks like this. It divides it up into 4 different parts. And we're going to start with the median. The median is the first thing we find. And a median divides the data into 2 parts. Okay? And then if we find the median of the lower half of the data, that would be here, it divides this lower half into 2 parts. And the median of the upper half divides the upper half of the data into 2 parts. And when we've done that, we've divided our data into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Now, the median of the entire data set can sometimes be referred to symbolically as Q2, because that's the upper end of our second quartile. The lower quartile is bounded by Q1. That is the median of the lower half of the data, Q1. The upper quartile is bounded by Q3. Symbolically, we call this Q3, which is just the median of the upper half of the data. And then the whisker part is down here and up here. This point represents the minimum value, and this point represents the maximum value. And that's how we create a box and whisker plot. We divide it into quartiles so that 25% of the data is in this lower part. 25% of your data lies within this part. 25% of the data lies within this part. And then 25% of the data lies here. So let's take a look at an example on how we would display data using a box and whisker plot. So here we have some data, and this data is the heights of 7 people in a family in inches. So we've got 34, 67, 70, 62, 46, 75, and 54. What's the first thing we need to do? Order our data. Great. So 34 is the smallest. What's next?
46.
Good.
54.
Good.
62.
Yes.
67. 70.
Great. Okay, now 7 is nice because because this is an odd number, which clearly gives us that the median is 62. So what we would want to do is sketch a number line, and I'm going to look at my data. I need to go from 34 up to 75. So I sketched a number line, and I counted by fives, and I labeled it. And I'm going to put my box and whisker just above this number line so that everything doesn't get messed up where I can't tell what's what. So to create my number line, I'm going to start with my median. And this is my median, which on the box and whisker is our Q2. Okay, now do you see how that median divides the data into a lower half and an upper half? So what is the median of the lower quartile? 46. I'm going to come down here and put the median of the lower quartile, which is Q1, is 46. What's the median of the upper quartile? 70. So that's my Q3. The median of the upper quartile. And so that gives me the box on the box and whisker. And then my minimum value of 34 down here, and my maximum value of 75 is here. So I know that 25% of the data lies from here to here. 25% of the data lies from here to here. 25% of the data lies from here to here. 25% of the data lies from here to here. So, can you fill in the blank? 75% of the family is how many inches or taller?
34, 46, 36.
It would be right here, which is 46. %. 75. 25 plus 25 plus 25. 75% of the family is 46 inches or taller. Any questions on how to create a box and whisker? All right, let's just take a look at this one, and we're going to talk about this one. Here we have two box and whiskers. One is representing the average average temperatures in Atlanta over a 12-month period. Orlando, this is the average temperatures for Orlando over the 12-month period. I think these are average lows. I can't remember. But they're averages. So here we have, which one has a larger spread of data? Atlanta. The range of temperatures in Atlanta is greater than the range of temperatures in Orlando. That makes sense.
That explains
Because
it.
of where we live and where we're located and all sorts of things. If I ask you for how many months is Atlanta's temperature less than 60 degrees, could we find that just using these box and whiskers? Okay, what do you think we'd do? Tell me, Colin.
You would look for 60,
Okay.
which is, and then see how much for how long it's less than, and that's 25%.
Good.
So 25% of 12 is 4 months.
Beautiful. 25% of 12 is actually 3 months, right?
Yeah, 3 months. Sorry.
Okay. 1/4 of 12. Okay. All right. And there are lots of different questions we could ask with this. I could just give it to you and ask you what the min was. I could ask you for the difference between the medians. We could compare what percentage of Atlanta is above 70, well, if these were the same, is above 73 with this one. Almost all of this is above 73, isn't it? So there's lots of different questions we can ask when we compare to box and whisker. Okay, now yesterday we played on our calculators. And did you guys notice when we went down that list, because we talked about this, that list on our calculator gave us a min, a Q1, a median, a Q3, and a max? Well, isn't that exactly what we need for a box and whisker? Okay, now this list, these 5 things that we need are called a 5-number summary. And we use the 5-number summary to create our box and whisker. Okay, I erased the data I need. So, let me give it to you. If we had this set of data, 82, 24, 100, 96, 79, 93, 86, and 88. Please use your calculator and find this 5-number summary for me. Let's see if you can do it. Yes, they are. Okay, so did you get 24?
Yes.
80.5?
Yes.
87?
Yes.
94.5? And 100?
Yes.
Okay, so did you notice that this was an even amount of data? So if we did it by hand to find the median, we'd have to average those two. Is that the same number?
Yes.
And to get the Q1, we'd have to average those two. Is that the same number?
Yes.
And to get Q3, we'd have to average those two. So to draw this one, we need the min down here at 24. Q1 is 80.5. Median, 87. Q3, 94. And max. So we can tell from our box and whisker that most of the data, 75% is over here. Okay, now, some of you ask about outliers. To find the outliers, you have to find the interquartile range. That is just Q3 minus Q1. So in our case, it's going to be 94.5 minus the 80.5. So the IQR is 14. To get an outlier, it either has to be less than Q1 minus 1.5 IQR, which in our case would be 80.5 minus 1.5 times 14, so 59.5. Is there a number that is less than 59.5? Yes. So we would say that 24 is a possible outlier. Now, in a statistics class, we would learn other ways to test to prove if it was, but that's what you do. So if it's less than that or greater than Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. These notes will be on my website if you need the last page.